got the engine and transmission mated. I didn't throw the flywheel in there just because I don't have the flywheel bolts, but I do have all the pieces to the clutch. They finally came in. This lift plate though is definitely worth every penny. As you can see, you can lift your motor and transmission balance. So that'll make getting it in the car a lot easier. And whenever we're mocking up our motor mounts, we can hang it in there level. So that'll help out a lot. Definitely invest in one of these. I got this one off eBay. I'll leave the link in the description below, but I think I paid 40 bucks for this one. I could have bought one off like Speedway or something, but this one was, you know, $20 cheaper, and I felt like I was helping out a custom fabricator because, as you can tell, this thing is pretty mint. Look at those dimes. So anyway, definitely a must-have if you're gonna do a LS engine swap. Okay, so we got the motor and transmission in. I did just set a box down there just to rest the motor on so I could change anchor points up here. I am gonna have to take this out again, but I've kind of got it positioned where I want it. I'd like to have it further back, so we'll try to get the motor mounts and all the geometry to line up. I do want to remount it to this subframe where the old engine used to be mounted, but here are the two bolts, so it's kind of off. And so I might have to make some kind of plate, or I don't know, we'll figure that out. So, but she does fit in there. The oil pan, and this is jacked up probably 4 inches or so, 3.5. The oil pan, yeah, it's hanging pretty low. At this point, I measured while it was on the ground. This point to the ground is only 5 inches, so I think that, you know, we might have to get a different oil pan. We also might have to remove this steering box and go to a rack and pinion style, because I don't think we're gonna have enough room for a header on this side. But she's in, so that's exciting. Now we are just gonna take some cardboard and try to make some templates Obviously this engine is going to be a lot higher. I just had to set it down so I could, you know, position it where I'd like it. I'm going to try to design this where it bolts in and bolts out, so if I ever have to pull this engine for any reason, we can, you know, remove this and the motor mounts and everything. So we got the passenger side marked up, labeled it, and now we got to do this side. This side's going to be a little bit more complicated just because we have the steering box, but I think there's enough room underneath it that we'll be able to box it to the frame somehow and get some bolts through it. This is our passenger side, so I measured from the edge of here to the center of the bolt hole, and it's 1 inch, and it happens to be an inch from the top as well on center. So what we're going to do for the driver's side, we're going to go ahead and mark off 1 inch here to 1 inch here, and then that's going to be the center of our bolt hole, and then that should help us map out, you know, this one so it's symmetrical to the passenger side. We're probably gonna get a piece of 1/4 inch steel bent in this L shape, and then we'll mount it directly next to the steering box. So right there. So that plate will come out just like that. So you'll be able to get 2 bolts in right here. This piece will bolt in down here, and it'll just come and meet that flat section right there. And then we'll just weld that seam together so we can bolt it in and bolt it out. For the passenger side, so we'll have that plate that bolts in just like the other side. So this will come probably right around there. And then this guy is going to be the other piece. There's a bolt hole right there that we can probably use. We might have to drill out the other side. But that'll just bolt in like that. And then this plate will come up. Obviously it's not going to look like this, but we'll cut, you know, we'll cut this angle in there and weld that seam. So it'll bolt right there, and then 2 bolts right there, and then all we'll have to do is fab up this guy to go up to the motor from that mid plate. So it'll be something like that. But that's where we're at.